Oh, hello, Libra. Thanks for checking out this video, for tuning in, for tuning on, for turning on. You guys are awesome. I appreciate all the support you guys are giving me, all the views, all the likes. You guys are hungry for it. I just got that feeling that this moon, this full moon in your sign is just busy time. April's busy, busy, busy bee energy for you. Jumper, chariot, just as I mentioned that, yeah, things are moving fairly quick. People around you are moving quick. You're moving quick. The clock on the wall is moving quick. The days are going by like nobody's tomorrow. All right. So, yeah, let's make sure that if we're moving too quick, we take the time to slow down. But if we're really getting after something, let's just go with the flow and get after it, Libra. That's what I like. You guys are adaptable. You guys have a wicked, applied learning and adaptability, to situations and things, people, places. So that's really awesome. So what are you guys doing? Are you all in a place of comfort and joy and abundance? Are you all just chilling out? Who knows, right? That's why we're asking tarot for mid-April. This is sorry guys, this is your mid-April general reading for Libra and people under the influence of Libra. So tarot, what are the hidden messages, the stuck energies, and the healing energies for Libra at this time? Okay. So for my subscribers, some of you might have noticed a bit of a change here. I'm into a new sanctuary now. Typically, I'd been reading on the floor for these online readings, and I moved up to the big table. I haven't read at the big table since the days of before the internet, even, when you used to have to dial 1-900 to get a hold of a clairvoyant for a general reading, right? So, but it's kind of nice. We moved up a little bit, and we're in a nice, quiet space, so we can devote the energy to Libra. What's the overall energy intention for Libra? Okay, Knight of Swords reversed. So let's internalize this card first, based on what we saw with that chariot popping out. This may be a time to settle back. And Aries had a little bit of this type of energy too. The feeling I have is that we may just need to be holding back. We might be that's more thinking before we're speaking, more evaluating before we're acting, more gathering information before moving forward. Could really be a benefit for us as we close out this month of April. Okay. Knight of Swords is typically when it's like this. It's like we're charging into battle. We're going for it. We're taking no prisoners. We're giving no quarter. When it's like this, it's kind of like this knight has a little bit more sort of wisdom. The feeling I have is that they're based, now this knight is based on understanding in terms of moving through his element. They have the knowledge, and it's funny because I said applied learning before, and it's so valuable or intrinsic to this card that the applied learning is going to be what's causing you to just be a little bit more reserved in regards to situations. The full moon in Libra is causing a lot of afflicting energies. People who haven't already slayed their egoic self, or at least been able to put their egoic minds to bed for a little while. These are the people that are coming out from left field, just whether it's accusations or just pompous type attitudes or just real weird stuff where you may be taking notice of it, and you might just have to be a little bit more reserved. Allow your feelings to sort of bubble to the surface. Listen to your body saying, what's going on here, before we're really to the point of committing or acting. Okay? So we're going to leave Knight of Swords. Oh, let's talk about this as a person as well. Because on a mundane thing, some of you could be dealing with another air sign, right? You could be dealing with a Gemini or Aquarius, or with another Libra, where situations may not be moving forward, where there may be a lack of being able to work together, being able to even understand where each other's coming from, okay? Just if we want to externalize this Knight of Swords, it's easy for us to this is typically your type energy, right? This is in your element, you guys moving through your element of air, of thoughts, communications, convictions, things like that. But for those of you that are dealing with other air signs in that type of situation, just be aware that there may be certain discord because you're coming from two opposite places, and neither one of you may be able to make headway on a common goal coming up, okay? So let's now work through our 7 major chakra areas to see where we're at, Libra. Where are we at? Here, home is where the butt is, I always say. We've got the Emperor reversed. So that here, some of you may need to recognize, some of you, I'm feeling there's some younger listeners here in Libra that may just be looking at branching out, getting established on their own. Maybe under the wings of the parents for a little bit too long, and now situations maybe bubbling over where it's you're wanting to get out, you're wanting to get on your own. This card to me, and it's really surrounding the home life. It's really as well. There's going to be situations where the physical presence, diet, exercise, things like that are going to come into the spotlight for Libra. I'm not sure, like I'm not a real like good astrologer, like what's going on in your houses of like home and health, but I feel like some of these things may be challenged, or you may not be as on top of your game as you normally are, or you typically are with these things. Like if you normally like stick to a good diet, you might have been like sort of eating a little bit more liberally, or emotionally even. Or some of you that maybe you have a really regimented workout situations, are just kind of like doing other things now, and maybe it's been a while, maybe you've skipped a few Mondays, or it's been like you're going 3 or 4 days in a row now without going to the gym and working out. Maybe you guys are just kind of trying to get back on a regimented path that you once at one point had, is what the feeling I have for this card. So with this Emperor reversed up in a root chakra area, it's not the most grounded energy, but it's not too bad. It's just saying that there needs to be some recollection. It's almost like this applied learning we talked about has escaped you on certain things because you're really super focused on other things, right? So where the scales are kind of out of balance almost, I feel, a little bit for you guys at these last 2 weeks of April. So this card's showing that we're really going to have to work hard to get things back in balance. So whatever that means, you apply it to your situation as needed, okay, in root chakra. But diet, digestion, things of a physical nature are really going to be important. Some of you may just be long overdue to sort of get to a doctor as well. Go and see somebody about a particular problem. There may be some fear that does crop up with this card being like this. I don't mean to be an alarmist. I'm just saying you apply it to your situation, okay? Wow, because here we go. We've got, right after number 4, we've got number 5, one chakra up here in our passions. And again, now we're talking this into this applied learning, into this knowing what you know and putting it to work for you. The Hierophant, traditionally in tarot, a mundane version, it can be in a card of marriage. But also, when I see it here in this chakra house, in this passion house, some of you may have like boyfriends or girlfriends or friends, like androgynous friends, that are like maybe considering, well, not considering, or maybe going to have a child. This energy here can be something where it's like you guys know if you're like doing it, and maybe it's a situation where it's like we're not always having protected sex, or we're not always like making sure that we're taking the birth control pills, or we're on it again, off again with a boyfriend or with a cycle, or maybe some of you might have multiple partners, and it's kind of like spring fever has taken hold. This card is saying we have to be even more careful when it comes to sort of our interpersonal relationships and our sexual relationships, to make sure that things aren't moving too fast, moving too quickly, because then we could be looking at things like unwanted pregnancies, or somebody falling madly in love with you when maybe you were the person that only wanted the friends with benefits type situation, or the casual two week stand, or summer loving had me a blast, right? So just be careful of moving too quickly into these, because in our overall energy we still have these fair warnings. It's almost like everything's coming up as like, I get feeling of like construction, flashing lights, when you drive through construction, everything's like blinking bright orange. It's like, meh, 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 it's like, just go about your life, do what you need to do, but just be very cautious coming up here, because this card is telling me here that you could be dealing with a situation that's quite unwanted if you move ahead too quickly, okay? That card usually doesn't warn that. This is like sometimes for some people it's like going to church, or getting married, or listening to someone that's kind of like helping you out. So that's interesting to see this as well here. Somebody might be falling in love with a college professor or a teacher as well too. Just kind of a side note, or what I saw there out of the corner of my cerebral. All right, wow. Now we've got the world reversed coming up here. This is more of a subtle reversal, because guess what? The world is round. It doesn't matter which way we hold it up, right? The world keeps on spinning. But as far as like major 21 goes, the card is reversed, so we do still have a bit of a subtle difference. And when we were talking earlier about the balance, this could be a lot of Libras balancing out feminine and masculine energies, receptive versus active type energies. Some of you may be feeling like other people are getting the wrong impression of you. Maybe some people think that you're not the way you used to be, or that you're kind of losing touch with what they feel is, has been normal for you, when really you're just sort of being dynamic. You're changing, you're into your own rhythms. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to be in a group circadian rhythm, like your friends and your family. Yes, they are important to you, but at the end of the day, like, who's number one? You're number one, right? And those energies need to be balanced in masculine and feminine. And it's kind of like, it's almost like Six of Pentacles energy. Like, make sure that what we're giving, what we're receiving is good, making sure our karma is in check. If we've been doing too much receiving, maybe it's time that we go out on a limb, we start giving so much. Or for some of you, you maybe been too giving now, and you're in a situation where your feeling is you can't do what you need to do because you have given so much of yourself to somebody else. And that makes a lot of sense, seeing these two cards like this. Is like somebody giving too much of themselves to somebody else or to some other situation, and passionately and instinctively that that's not necessarily right. Okay? All right. Wow, look at the majors just coming. Boom, 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 boom. Now we've got Star card reversed in the Heart of Heart chakra, in the bridge, right in the middle there. So, wish fulfillment here. You guys are almost feeling like some things you may be perceiving them as sort of slipping through your fingertips. A falling away type energy is what I have with this card. I almost feel like you might have been chasing a goal or a dream, and now you're almost like you're giving up on it. You're ready to be like, well, you know what? Maybe that's just wasn't meant for me. I've been trying so hard for so long to attain X, Y, and Z, but, only Y has happened. Or when X is happening, Y is not happening. And apply it to your situation, right? That's why I leave it in an algebraic sense. So with the Star card in the reverse like this, I would encourage a lot of you to kind of like get out the pen and paper, make a list of what it is that is important to you and what it is that you want to accomplish, so that it all doesn't seem like too much, right? So for those Libras that are maybe wanting to like get a little more independent, move into a place of your own, if the heart is really desiring that, but it's feeling like, we could never get there, we could never attain that, we got to start taking the little steps. We got to get into this Hierophant energy of like doing the little things that we can do, being our own best friend, being our own teacher, putting our resources and our time, investing them back into ourselves, rather into the group or to other people. Especially people that are causing us to like charge ahead or be in places and spend our times in areas and places where, we kind of maybe regret it, come bedtime, maybe you get done work and, now 3 or 4 people are inviting you over here, or they're wanting you to come out to do this thing, or they're wanting you to volunteer over there. And like, you being a good natured person, you're like, oh, I like that. I'll go do that. And again, and again, and again, and again. And then, by 11 o'clock at night, you're like, oh, I didn't get any closer to my own personal goals because I was doing things within the group kind of thing. All right? This is just different energies that I've got for you guys, Libra. You guys are all over the map with these majors, right? Look at these majors coming. So when I have this, also what I see, look at this. We've got like divine feminine and we've got some divine masculine energy going on here, right? So this, what I feel here is that we're almost a little bit out of balance with our giving, receiving, our creating versus our appreciating type energies, right? Those sort of things, being in the moment, acting forward, knowing when to be reserved, knowing when to be aggressive and assertive, and knowing in situations where we just can't do that, right? So again, I don't want to be alarmist, but I want to just say that there could be some you guys are getting into some energies surrounding people, surrounding events that could test you in regards to you saying something that you don't mean, or committing to something almost without you even realizing it. Like, just interesting, different stuff like that, okay? Tough for me to see into. Wow, wish fulfillment again. 1 card up in communication. So if it's in your heart, you want it, talk to people about it. if we're making that list of steps that we need to take, see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, when we're climbing that ladder, when we're taking those steps to get what we want, right? What it is we've got to tell somebody about it in order to get our wish fulfilled, right? Nine of Cups is the wish fulfillment card, but it's also in the position of communication. So we got to actively communicate that. We've got to put our feelers out there. So maybe, an apartment is all we can really afford, but maybe we would really like a townhouse. Maybe we just have to exercise a little patience, or maybe talk to somebody that has been through that before and find out, what worked best for them when they were doing that, right? Or if this is a situation where the Libras, I remember in March, were kind of on that train of looking for love and wanting to figure out, how much type of energy to invest in pursuing love and investing in love. This is coming now through communications. We really got to start opening up our own energy, speaking our personal truth in order to get our wishes fulfilled. Let's put our hearts out there in regards to a spoken word so that other people realize where we're coming from. And then maybe, it could be a situation where now, instead of being a follower in a group, now you're more of a leader in a group, or maybe you can divide your time. And again, with the circular nature of this card, this is what goes around, comes around type energy. So if you're in a position of telling somebody, good job, good work, that's going to come back to you. If you are in a position where you've been giving too much of yourself, you got to sort of tell people, I've been giving a lot of my time and my energy lately. It's unfortunately I gotta call it. I gotta pull the pin on it to look after myself. And somebody might hear that message and actually give you a bit of a reward or a bit of a break. It could be, in regards to work. So let's look at vision question. We've got now 2 of Swords. So decision making. Here we are evening out the balances when it comes to the things of the subconscious nature, things on the subconscious level, right? We feel a sense of comfort, Libra, in our current position, but a strong desire to continue to branch out. That has been a theme of this reading, this wanting to move forward through our current environment into somewhere new, into a place of new feeling, right? But we're prevented by doing that, or the stars aren't quite aligned with this because everything has kind of been slowed down, right? We're kind of have to wait and see if things can be accommodating, if the environment can be more accommodating. So the decision that's asked to be made here, because the 2 of Swords always involves a decision here, again, I think goes back to this in your applied learning here. If you're feeling comfortable in a situation, but there is that strong desire to move into the field of uncertainty, into new places, I just want to say, at some point, you've got to consider your own happiness and your own sort of thrill, zest for life sort of thing, and just encourage yourself to get out there, to move into that area. But I want to make sure that you guys are doing it one step at a time, and not getting yourselves into trouble. So that means taking good care of yourself, eating right, if that's what it takes to budget for your diet, to budget your time for your gym, to tell certain people, ain't nobody got time for that this month. I need to look at other things that, don't let anybody guilt you into something because you've been giving too much yourself. See? Simple. All that blathering, and then the message just came. All right. Now in from Crown Chakra, we have Knight of Pentacles reversed. Okay, now look at this, kids. We've got 2 Knights of Pentacles here, or 2 Knights, 1 of Swords, 1 of Pentacles. We've got the quick-moving Knight that's been slowed down, and now we've got the slow-moving Knight that's been sped up, right? So this, again, speaks back to what you want to go for versus what you feel comfortable in. And these last 2 weeks of April, unfortunately, you guys are going to have to exercise cautions to the cautions that are making themselves apparent to you. I would say if you guys are kind of hardworking right now, let's not worry about fulfilling our dreams so much as start building a base foundation in terms of money, in terms of time and a plan. This is like a planning time, a planning stage for a lot of Libras. So that eventually, when this comes up and goes forward, you'll have everything you need to move quickly. But right now it's like this. It's saying you don't have exactly all you need in place to move forward on whatever this decision is, because, things, you guys are just kind of like in a state of like self-repair. So more planning is required, all right? The stars, I don't know, it just could be just a full moon here. All right, I wanted to ask what this was here in this Two of Swords. And it's come up here in regards to like a crucifix with a picture of Jesus of Nazareth and Mary, Mother or Magdalene, kind of moot point. But anyways, you see kind of this beam of light and this beam of light right here. Some of you may be deciding what I spoke of, that comfort zone, moving out of that comfort zone. This could be in terms of indoctrinated beliefs when it comes to this Two of Swords in the third eye, pineal gland. Some of you might be awakening to the fact that there's more than what you learned at Sunday school, or what your current church, or maybe you've met somebody who is challenging your beliefs, and you're really kind of like, it's really thrown you off your game, and now you're almost feeling a little bit set back by that, because somebody's wanting you to see a new truth that you can't really deny, but it forces you to reevaluate what you've already been sort of conditioned to understand. And these are deeper things. All my compassion goes out to you, Libra, because these are heavy energies for some Libras that are spending a lot of time in areas of faith and understanding and wanting to move forward in terms of their spiritual well-being, when the world around us seems so very much like material, mundane, unsharing, uncommunicative a lot of times. So making sure we're choosing friends wisely. And for those of you that are passionate about going to church, and maybe you're feeling it's a little bit risque to even be having a tarot reading or that kind of thing, don't be too scared. You're just starting to branch out in a different direction. Anyone that will want to judge you for having a tarot reading or a past life regression or Reiki work or acupuncture work done on you, anyone that wants to judge you as being evil for doing those kinds of things doesn't really know the ascended master that is Jesus to begin with. They just know of an idea about that, okay? Though I could open up a whole new store on that topic, but we're just going to leave it at that, because Libra, we're running out of time. Here was our flipper. We're just going to ask the enchanted map. Here it was. Education. You guys got education as your oracle card. That's interesting. So what here? We have a lady with a book with a little fairy popping out. And look at this, like this blue heron or this, what kind of bird is that? You guys probably know it better than I. Yeah, he's like waiting to eat a fish, but he's too busy focused on seeing what this lady and this fairy got going on. Education, number 35, and I read right from the book on these oracle cards because they're important information, and I don't want to pass along a message that wasn't designed or intended when these cards pop out. Quote, life is filled with lessons, be teachable, end quote. Wisdom comes from participating in life, not just reading about it. This card suggests that you might not have enough knowledge about what you seek, the direction to take, your circumstances, or the nature of your question. Important information is coming. Now is the time to go to school, ask a person who might know more than you do, or find a teacher or a course of study that you can more clearly understand what the next right action must be. Sometimes life unexpectedly sends you to an unfamiliar school, and you must learn by experience. Now is the time to be teachable, open to changing your preconceived notions. Be a student, and be willing to state the most powerful mantra of all, I don't know. Imagine how many people actually can admit through their ego that they actually don't know, especially after the age of 35. That's rare. It's like find someone in their 40s that says, I don't know, because the truth is a lot of times we don't know. And this goes back, there was this energy of somebody that was in school, I thought, falling in love with the teacher. Maybe I was just kind of seeing that, and like they're falling in love with what they're learning, or they're choosing the subject matter wisely. And whatever this is, whether we're learning theology, or we're learning about ourselves, our biology, or whatever it may be, it's just saying we don't have all of the things right now. So that what I mentioned about being in that planning stage is very important. You may decide that you may wish to gather some more information from untypical sources in order to make the decision, spiritual or mundane or otherwise, that you want to, so that you can move forward. Okay, Libra, that's what I had for you. Hope it resonated with many of you. Know that I love you lots, and we'll see you next time.